Like, I was like, I tell, like, everywhere I go, I actually love it because, like, I meet new people, but I would be in,
Yeah.
like, rah ramen, and I've had people turn around and be like, oh my God, I know you from TikTok. Like, hey, like, nice to
Wait, aren't you Kyra?
Kyra from TikTok. Or, like, if I'm working, I had a military police come in and she was like, you're Kyra from TikTok. And I was like, yeah. And then you see someone else come and be like, I follow her on TikTok. And I'm like, please, y'all, not while I'm in uniform.
God, please, girl,
Please.
stop. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Face Buddies. I'm your host, Lay. If you're new to this podcast is about military spouses and their unique stories. This podcast is geared to all military spouses, either young, new, old, veterans, whatever the case may be. And it's just basically to unite all of us via shared commonality. Today, we have a very special guest. All of my guests are special, but we have Miss Kyra.
I'm so excited to be on here.
Me too. She is in Japan. Okay, she's
Yes.
in Japan. She's
Other side of the
overseas.
world.
Other side of the world. Yes,
Yeah.
we had to plan around our schedules. It is currently 5 o'clock where I am, and it's 8 a.m. over there. But I'm so
Mhm.
excited to have you, Miss Kyra.
Thank you
I've
for
been,
having me.
yeah, I've been dying to interview you since we first met. You're such a vibe, and I can't wait to share your story.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, tell me all about you. Who is Kyra, and who are you first?
Well, I'm Kyra. I am a content creator, influencer. I'm a mom, I'm a Navy wife, and I know I'm probably sound kind of boring, but
No.
I have a multitude of hobbies that I do, from baking to tattoos to creating to hosting events, A to Z. I'm that
Yeah.
girl. And then I'm very involved in the community, so I do a lot of volunteering. I
Nice.
also work, so I'm pretty a basic lit kind of military spouse, I guess you can say. So yeah.
Yeah. No, you are such a vibe. And you also mentioned when we first met that you
Mhm.
were kind of a mentor. Tell me about that.
So when right before we PCS to Japan, I was like, I want to do something more. And I found this kind of organization where you are volunteering to mentor new spouses, even seasoned spouses. So I started that in September, and then I just recently started mentoring this month. So I have two mentees. They're of a different branch, but some of them have been military spouses longer than me. So I'm learning from them, but I'm also helping them. So I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. I do that behind the scenes because, it's a little bit more personal.
Right.
But I definitely love the whole mentoring thing.
I know. That sounds so much fun. As a
Mhm.
mentor, what do you teach new military spouses or spouses that don't necessarily have the knowledge that you have when it comes
Mhm.
to this military life in general?
So I kind of mentor them because obviously there are some military spouses who've been in longer than me. So they know more
Of
than me.
course. Yeah.
But for example, I have a new mentor she's an Air Force wife. And
Ooh.
she's been in for a minute, but she's wanting more information and more help and guidance with volunteering and kind of
Oh.
being on the front line of more leadership role in the
Yeah.
community, if that makes sense. So I
Guide them through that process of finding
basically,
resources and everything along those
yeah,
lines.
I help them with resources. I guide them or I share my personal experiences and it helps them. So
Yeah.
it's just very different to mentor and teach across different magnitudes of the military spouse community because you
Mm-hmm.
have newbies and then you have older ones who've been in for 15 plus years
Forever. Yeah.
ever. And I'm kudos to y'all. I'm only on my seventh, but hey, I'm hanging in there.
You're doing an amazing job. The
Thank
fact
you.
that you are a mentor to spouses that have been in
Hmm.
longer than you have really shows your knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And your
Hmm.
dedication. So
Yes.
let's shift gears a little bit.
Hmm.
So your spouse is in the Navy, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And how did you guys meet?
So our love story is a little boring, but we met on Twitter when Twitter was the most
Poppin'?
popular social media app next to Instagram. And then I had to fly out to Arizona for my kid's grandmother, and we kind of officially met then. And then a couple months later, he proposed. You know, that whole military men move fast.
Oh my
They
God.
do, but it's worth it to me. And then ever since then, it's just been amazing ever since. And I was about, it'll be 8 years this year. So,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. That's crazy. So you guys met on Twitter. You guys
hmm
talked for a while and then you decided to fly to Arizona.
Yeah. So, me flying to Arizona wasn't necessarily for him, but since he was in San Diego, stationed in San Diego, he was like, well, I'll
Ah.
drive and we'll meet. And I was like, oh, okay. And then 4 or 5 months later, then he
Ain't
proposed,
no way.
and I know, I look back and I'm like, hey, why you do it? But you know,
Yeah.
it was worth it. I'm glad I did it. That man is, what's that saying? He's a good man, Savannah.
Yeah,
That is
he's
a
a good
good
man,
man.
Savannah.
He's a
He's a
good
good
man.
man. Girl, ain't no shame in your game, girl. I hadn't seen my spouse in over 2 years. He was stationed in Bahrain, but
Uh-huh.
we had dated briefly for 2 months. After we dated briefly for 2 months, he got orders to Bahrain, and so we decided, you know what I'm saying? You do
Why
your thing,
not?
I do my thing. And so whenever he was getting ready to get back in the States, because we were talking the whole time he was there, even though we were
Hello.
doing our own thing, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That toxic ex. Anyways, so when he was getting ready to come over here, mind you, I hadn't seen him in 2 years. He
Right.
was like, move with me to Washington State. Mind you, I was in Florida. That's across the country.
Literally.
I was like, you know what? So I picked him up from the airport. I hadn't seen him in 2 years. And I was like, okay, it feels like no time had passed. You're my best friend for
hmm
real. And so, yeah, we only physically seen each other for 3 hours. We drove to Washington State together. And like you
Yep.
said, it's been almost 8 years now. I'm the type of person that I'm such an overthinker. If I
hmm
don't think that it's going to be a success, I'm not going to, if I have a sheer inch of doubt, I'm not going
Right.
to do that. I'm not
Right.
gonna do
Right.
that, right?
Right.
If I thought this man was gonna kill me, I wouldn't have done it.
Right. Or he was gonna do something wild or crazy.
Exactly. Exactly. But anyways, okay. So tell me, what
Mhm.
was your initial reaction when you guys got orders to Japan?
So we kind of knew a little bit in advance because he was like, if I take these orders back to San Diego, we're gonna end up going to Japan. And I was like, okay. And then the time came and I'm like, I'm about to leave all my family, all my friends
San Diego.
in Houston because all of our family is in either Texas or Indiana for
Oh,
me.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha, gotcha. So
So
you
it's
guys
like
were in Houston at the time when you guys
we were
got
in
your
San
orders?
Diego.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
And then when it was getting time to do overseas screening and stuff, I'm like, this is about to take me out. I already know it. He came home with this thick packet, and I'm like, who's gonna do
Oh,
all that?
not me.
But yeah, I was excited, still excited because I feel like when I got here, it really took me off the map. I been doing
Yeah,
so much and doing so good. So, but I was
yeah.
genuinely excited when we got orders here.
I
Yeah.
know. I would literally sell my cat to get orders to Japan.
Yeah.
Not really, I love him. But I we've been dying to get orders to Japan for the longest time. We end up being stateside, no complaining here, we're not close to our family or whatever, but at least we're stateside.
Yeah. Well,
But
you never know.
girl,
You just might get
exactly.
those orders. Yeah.
Imagine
Fingers crossed for
we
you.
we pick orders in June.
Hey, look, I'll be here till 2028. So fingers
Oh
crossed.
my God. Imagine. Okay, stop.
Girl, they wouldn't be ready for us. I tell you that. Would
I know.
not be ready.
Imagine. Oh my God. I have my first friend in Japan, yo. I'm over here
Right?
already.
Already in the works.
That's freaking hilarious.
Mhm.
Okay. So tell me about your screening process. Whenever you got orders to Japan, he came home with the little packet. What was the
Mhm.
overseas screening process looking like? What does a military spouse have to do before they go
You
overseas?
you have to literally get checked from the Ruta to the Tuta. Front, back, side, top to bottom. I kid you not.
They
Blood
said,
work. Like literally they're in there. It was the most stressful thing I have ever gone through. I was at a point to where I was like, you know what? Just leave me behind. That's how much it was. Blood work and your lady checkups, your mammograms, audio, visual, your eyes, your ears, mental health screening. You have to get
yeah.
vaccines. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then my son, he got his completed within a day. And it took me like 2 months. Yeah, it was a lot. I don't wish that on my worst enemy.
Oh my God. And that's
It was
all to just go overseas.
literally. If
Wow.
one little thing pop up, it's almost, could that make me or break me? Like, could that? And my whole thing was I was so scared of
Right.
being left behind because who wants to be in the States and your husband's in a whole different country for 3 years? That's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't
Mm-mm.
going to work for us. So it was crazy. And then my son has an EpiPen, so that made it 10 times more because
Wait,
they were like,
what?
yeah, when I went to go pick up my packet, because they called, you get a call saying, hey, they go through the packet very briefly and then basically give you a yes or a no. Well, I didn't really get that. I had to go get my packet. And when I got there, my screening stuff was paused. And I was like, okay, what's the holdup? It was because they needed to know exactly what my son was allergic to make sure that if he were to go into anaphylactic shock, they can care for him here in Japan. And I was like, thank God I brought
Yeah.
his, what is it called? His diagnosis for his allergies. And then it took me an hour. I had to wait in the waiting room for an hour. And I'm like,
Oh
about
my
to,
gosh.
I'm like, they're gonna deny me. Text my husband, I was like, they're gonna deny me because it's EpiPen. I just know it. And he came back and he was like, okay, here's your packet. You're good to go. And I was like, so I'm approved to go. And he was like, yeah, you're good to go. And I literally just bawled in the office because I'm like, y'all don't know how stressful this was for me. I don't ever want to go through that again. Ever.
That sounds so
Again.
stressful. So let's just say that you have like a condition or like your son allergic
Mhm.
to something that would essentially delay the whole process.
Basically, because here it's limited healthcare. For example, you know how back in the States we can just get up and go to the emergency room or urgent
Yeah.
care? You can't do
Uh-huh.
that. You have to,
No?
no, you have to either have a translator on standby or you have to make an appointment or you have to get seen at the base clinic and then they refer you to an emergency room. So it's like my son had his first scare here where he had a fever, shot up. And I had to call the TRICARE nurse helpline because I'm like, my husband's gone. I don't know what to do. I can't just pop up at
Yeah.
the emergency room. It's the weekend. I was going crazy. And then they were like, well, we're gonna see what's available out there. Nothing. And I'm like, so I had to be a nurse here for the next 3 to 4 days.
That's
Thankfully, he got
crazy.
over it, but that just goes to show if you have any conditions, they're gonna really look into it to make sure that
Mm.
you can get care here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so
can
it's
treat it
really
over
sweet.
there.
Mhm.
Wait, so you can't just go up and go to the ER. That you have to make an appointment. But what if somebody is having an allergic reaction?
Then they would have to call 911. So when you call 911 here and they kind of figure out that you are here, you're military here on SOFA, whatever, they're gonna
Yeah.
actually contact the base police and then send them out. It's a whole event, which is I'm like, fingers crossed we don't ever have to use emergency services because
Right.
yeah. And then here in the States, when you see an ambulance, people pull over and they just go through
Yeah.
red lights, whatever. They don't do that here. They stop at red lights, they wait in traffic. And I'm like, if somebody was dying,
What if somebody
y'all
was
just gonna
dying?
y'all are just gonna
They
like
said,
wait
no,
there?
y'all,
Like,
you're
no,
waiting
you're
like
gonna
the
wait. You're
rest
gonna
of
wait. You're gonna wait till
no,
I get there.
exactly. I've been waiting in this red light enough. You need to wait.
Right, you need to wait.
It's not my fault. You ate something you weren't supposed to.
Right, you should have known. So that it's yeah, the medical
Oh
part
my
here is
God.
crazy.
That's insane. So you guys moved over there. What was one thing about living in Japan that completely surprised you besides the ER?
Yeah, that one was my number one. But the one thing that really I was like, okay, but when we went to go sign our release, they literally explain everything to you from A to Z. And the trash was my most concerning one because I'm looking at her and I'm like,
Trash.
okay, yeah, so we have to separate our trash. You have burnables, non-burnables, cardboard. Your plastic bottles, you have to take the wrapper off and the top off, and then you have to throw the bottle away. The wrapper paper and the bottle cap goes in regular kitchen trash. The we literally
What?
every time we take our trash, we have at least 8 bags. And that's not even because there's trash everywhere. It's because everything has to be
Has to be separated and organized.
cans have to be in their
What?
own bag, glass jars, whatever, have to be in their own bag. You have to take wrappers off of everything. And she's like explaining this, and I'm like, girl, who finna do all of that? We're just like, and I
Right.
think we haven't done it yet, but if you put your trash in the wrong thing, they could bring it back to your house.
Don't they bring it back and charge you or something? Oh my God.
Yeah,
No,
that was,
I
yeah.
I briefly remember that only because one of my friends, she's a Japanese citizen,
Mhm.
and she's dual. She's American and Japanese. She
Yeah.
just came over here from Japan, and when she was over, she asked me, she's like, "Do you guys separate your trash?" And I was like, "What is that?" And she
Right.
was, and then she explained it. Wow, so that's crazy. And then I was like, "No, girl, just throw it." And she was like, "Oh, okay."
Right. She's probably like, "Well, y'all do that here?"
Yeah, my poor Mina. She does my nails. So if you're
Okay.
if you're ever in San Antonio, she does my nails.
Period. Those are so cute. They look
Cute.
jade, the
Yeah, they
real jade.
are actually.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
peridot. So I'm kind of a spiritual
Cute.
girly. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
kind of a spiritual girly.
Okay.
Period. And
Mhm.
so I wanted to come into the new year with prosperity, abundance, something
Mhm.
along those lines. So she did my nails as my birthstone, which peridot
I
means
like
abundance.
that.
I know, she's literally amazing. So, what's been your favorite part about living in Japan, your daily life?
My daily life would probably be
7-Eleven.
yes, always 7-Eleven. Always 7-Eleven. I love
Oh,
7-Eleven down. Oh my
so
gosh.
jealous.
Man, you can literally use 7-Eleven for your morning breakfast, dinner, dessert. That's how good it is. It's so good. The second thing would be thrifting. Even though I do 90% of my thrifting on base, I do go out in town and there's stuff, girl, Coach bags, Louis Vuitton bags.
Shut up.
Oh my gosh. Watches, everything. It gets busy. Oh, and then tax-free shopping.
You know what? I believe it because in on TikTok and like social media and stuff like that,
Mhm.
I've seen Japanese streetwear and it's literally like it eats down. Like it's
Yes.
so nice. So I totally believe that.
Yeah. Love
Like
it.
that's insane. Oh, I'm glad that
Mhm.
that's your favorite part.
Right? It's kind of sad though, because normally you would think, oh yeah, my favorite part would be going out with my friends. No, not
Oh my God.
not
Okay.
really.
So how has it been? You just got there, right? You
Hmm.
just got to Japan
Hmm.
and you've been there for a couple months now, right?
Right.
So how has it been making friends over there overseas?
It hasn't been that difficult, but it has been because
Yeah.
a lot of people within the community, they see my TikTok. So obviously I work on
Mm,
base. So I've made a few friends through TikTok, just a few.
mm.
They'll come into my job, say hi, or some people would ask for pictures, so
They'll
I've got
ask for pictures?
yes, my husband,
Shut up.
he
Are you
actually,
serious? Okay, that's
yes,
famous.
we were right. I know. I told my son, I was like, I'm a little bit famous. Put some respect on my name, but still a little humble. But we were leaving my
Always humble.
job. Always got to be humble. Always.
Always.
But we were leaving my job, and this guy, he's like, my husband noticed him first, but he was outside my car window, and I put the window down, and he was like, "Nice to finally meet you." And I'm like, "Huh?"
Hello?
I'm like, "Uh-huh." And he's like, yeah, me and my wife, we watch your TikTok all the time. We finally got over here. You've helped us so much. And we talked with him. I was like, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad, I was able to help you. And then I
Mhm.
remembered I did talk to him through DM. And so the window goes back up and my husband goes, I just witnessed this firsthand. Like, I
Ah,
was like, I tell, like, everywhere I go, I actually love it because, like, I meet new people, but I would be in, like,
yeah.
rah, rah, ramen. And I've had people turn around and be like, oh my God, I know you from TikTok. Like, hey, like, nice to meet
Wait,
you.
aren't you Kyra?
Aren't you Kyra from TikTok? Or like if I'm working, I had a military police come in and she was like, you're Kyra from TikTok. And I was like, yeah. And then you would
Oh,
see someone else come and be like, I follow her on TikTok. And I'm like, please, y'all, not while I'm in uniform.
ugh, God, please, girl,
Please, make the
stop.
light clock out. But no, I've met a few friends through there, so it's getting
See,
a little better. It's just a little bit difficult.
see, that's nice.
Mhm.
That's so
Yeah,
nice with the freak. Okay.
right.
All right. So, how did being a mom change your PCS experience? Is this your first time PCSing? Did did you guys PCS? before having children, or is it more of so you've always PCS with children?
So when I met my husband, I had two children from a
Oh, okay.
previous relationship.
Okay.
So when we moved with my husband when he was stationed in San Diego, I consider that my first PCS because we're moving from Texas to.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
then we've PCS with children from San Diego to Kingsville, Texas, and then Kingsville, Texas, back to San Diego, now to Japan. But my PCS experience with children um
Overseas.
overseas was really tough because if you don't know, when you have children from a previous relationship, the military needs you to get that biological parent's permission. So my
Mm.
older two kids, girl, it's so emotional. And I just got my lashes done. Let me not cry. But
It's okay.
I couldn't take my older kids here because of him. So I battle with that every day. Obviously, with that, it's been a little difficult, but
Yeah.
mm, PCSing here, let me just say, if you're watching this and you're PCSing overseas, please make sure that you accommodate your child from A to Z. So tablets, activities, snacks, comfort, pillows, blankets, all of that, because the flight is crazy with
I
a
know.
small child. Oh my God. But motherhood's been pretty decent here, besides my older two kids, which I am going to be able to visit them and they're going to be able to come out here. But that's that's the whole gist of motherhood overseas.
Yeah. Was there a moment that you felt finally settled or confident again in your home?
I want to say probably about a month.
Really?
Yeah, I got somewhat settled. It didn't really take that long. I talk to my older kids every day, so that's kind of been helping me,
Mm.
like, adjust having to split my motherhood between this household and back home.
Yeah.
It didn't really take much time. I'm a fast adjuster, I should say. It just I adapt very easily with every
Yeah.
time.
You are not the only spouse that I've talked to that has
Hmm.
had to make that decision. I met so many military spouses, I met so many military families, and of course I got to know them, and there
Hmm.
were so many spouses who had previous marriages, who had children with that
Hmm.
previous partner, who with their current partner went overseas and had to do that same or had to make that same decision.
I got a lot of backlash. It almost made me kind of second guess being a content creator because I'm like, whoa,
No,
I'm
girl.
not
That's when
just
you pop off.
right. I'm
Oh,
like, I'm not
yeah.
just some mom who left her kids behind. I am still
No.
very much an active mom. But yeah, I don't think they understood. It wasn't until I had to explain that they understood. Oh, and then that's when I had moms who've also had children from a previous relationship come and
Exactly.
ask me. And then some of them did find themselves in the same boat. So I was like, people do go through this. People
Hmm.
don't really have that choice to bring their, you know, children outside the marriage to overseas because,
Yeah.
if they have a biological parent active, you
Mhm.
fortunately, whether you're or not, you do have to work with that person's, preferences and stuff. So
And it takes two to
but
decide that as well.
it
It
definitely does.
So it's not just on you. I feel like moms get such a bad rep when difficult
Hmm.
decisions get
All the
made.
time. Hmm.
Exactly. It we have to remember that it takes two biological parents to make that decision. And
Exactly.
depending on how old the children also make that decision. If they
Mhm.
wanted to stay stateside, that's their
Yep.
decision along with the other biological parent.
Hmm.
There's nothing bad about somebody making a decision based on what they think is best for them,
Right.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think you're doing an amazing job. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, of
Thank you.
course. All right, cool.
Right.
So, I found you on
Mhm.
TikTok based on your military spouse finding a job series.
Boy, that was a tough one.
I saw your video and I just knew that I had to talk to you. So,
Yeah.
in your video, you're basically going through the motions of trying to find a job overseas.
Mhm.
How was that experience in real time? You got there, you were trying to find a job. What was the experience from day one to whenever you got the job?
Oh my gosh. I was putting in so many applications and resumes and constantly searching on USA jobs. But here overseas, you can't just obviously we're in Japan. We're not locals.
Right.
So we can't work off base unless you know Japanese or, you fit their standards because they have very high standards.
Yeah.
So the only thing that we really could work on is base. And I applied for the theater, MWR, main store, commissary, everywhere. And it wasn't until my husband went and talked to my boss, currently my boss now. But the process, it's so hard. It was so hard.
Grueling.
It was, and when I went for my first interview, very first interview, I was like, yes, I finally got an interview. I'm gonna be a working dependa, finally. No, girl, I went in that
Oh.
office. Right. I went in that office and they're asking me all these questions and it was hitting me in real time. This sounds really bad. I'm sitting here and I'm like, hey, my husband has duty every 6 days. My son gets out of school. I have to pick him up from the bus stop by 3. My husband goes underway for 3 months at a time.
Oh my God.
Like, oh, they're okay. And then he's like, yeah, you're unreliable, so we're gonna have to consider other candidates. When I say I got in the car and I bawled, because I'm like, every, I had the experience, I had the skills, my resume was top notch. I even had a professional look over my resume, all of that. And then to hear that, I'm like, no way. And after that, I was like, I'm done. I'm just gonna be another stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife. I'm gonna have to find a home business. I don't know, pull something out
Yeah.
of my pockets or something. And then I was volunteering at the thrift store, and my husband went and spoke with the manager at the job I'm at now. And she was like, unreliable. She was like, what?
Yeah. What the
And
heck?
then I I did the application again because I already applied there. But the crazy thing is the main store didn't show her my application. So she didn't see it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I went in, I think what was it, that same day, next day, and I talked to her and she's like, write down your hours that you could work. And she was like, if your husband has duty, write that down too. I wrote everything down. And when I say this job is the best job I've ever had, if I need to leave work early, I can, no penalty. If I can't work because my son's out of school and my husband's gone, it's fine. Pick up whatever hours I can work. I love this job. So to my boss, if you're seeing this, I love you.
That
But
gives a lot of hope to a lot of military spouses out there. Essentially, got orders to PCS overseas or are
Mhm.
currently stationed overseas and they haven't found a
Yeah,
job. Word of mouth is one of the most powerful things like
definitely.
any individual can do. I think that,
Hmm.
sometimes I get upset when my husband um basically like asks other people for me because I'm okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am an extrovert by nature, but an introvert by heart, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So like I get really shy around like other military spouses or I get really
Hmm.
shy around like people that I want to be friends with. I tell my husband, "Oh my God, I want to be friends with her so bad. She sounds
Hmm.
so cool." And my husband like would go up to them and be like, "Hey, my wife wants to be your friend." I'm like, "Fuck, why did you do
Don't
that?"
do that.
But then they turn out to be like one of my closest friends. I
Yeah.
think the fact that your hubby did that is so cute and so awesome. So your husband deploys or goes on underway 3 months at a time. You're
Hmm.
overseas. How do you handle that? Being alone
Girl,
with a kid and your husband being gone every 3 months.
girl, it at first, my husband, he was like, hey, I just want to let you know when we get here, because we always joke around. He was like, when I take these orders to Japan, because you wanted to be overseas, he was like, I don't want to hear you complaining. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have the fun. I'm gonna have best time of my life. I'm overseas. Your girl finally got a passport and it's stamped. I'm a big girl now. And then he was like, just letting you know, I think it's called forward deploying, but
Yeah.
he leaves out for 3 months. He's back home for 3 months. It's on and off for the next 2.5, 3 years. So I'm like, okay, not that bad. But now that we're approaching that time, I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm thinking about is okay, if my baby's sick, I know I can take off of work, but I'm like, I need that money because when they're out to sea,
Yeah.
the communication is terrible. I'm somewhat prepared, but still nervous because I'm like, I'm overseas.
So do you
That's
live on base?
I live off base.
Really? What the frick?
Yeah.
How was
Yeah.
that process?
That process it wasn't really difficult at all. He was able to get this house while I was still back in the States, but obviously you
Mm.
need all dependents need to be physically there to sign a lease, get the keys and all that. So the process
Mm.
wasn't that. Thankfully, base housing was full because I did not want to live on base.
Is it bad? Really? Oh no, what the freak?
Yeah. But I mean, there was only one reason why I wanted to do on base housing was because the kids on base, my son will have his little own community. But other
Yeah.
than that, I'm like, they deal with power outages, the AC's controlled, just one hole. It's a lot.
Oh my God.
I'm so glad I didn't get
Yeah.
on
So
housing.
how did you how did your spot okay, so is it like an American owned community or is it like a Japanese citizen owned community? Because I've heard that getting any property in Japan, you have to be like a Japanese citizen, you have to know Japanese, you have to
Mhm.
have all these crazy things to even just get an apartment in Japan. So how was that experience? I guess how did your spouse secure that off-base housing for you
Mhm.
guys without having any of that?
So the only thing that's really American is the base housing because obviously it's considered like
Mm.
US base, whatever. But having a home outside of that, we have this or not organization, but this business, whatever you want to call it. It's called GI Bill Pay. So they are the middleman
Mm.
between our Japanese landlord and us. So when we need to pay bills or we have questions about the house or something in the house needs repairing, we'll email GI Bill and say, hey, we need this, this, and this. And they will relay that back to our landlord. Our landlord will send out people to fix whatever. And that's how we did that. But when he got the house and we did a house tour, I was on FaceTime and I was like, I like that house. Get that one. There was I believe a translator and or was it a translator? No, I think it was a local, but he didn't really understand English that well, but enough
Mm.
to where my husband's like, okay, this, and this. So it wasn't that hard to secure a house.
As for your child, he goes to
Mhm.
school on base or off
Yes,
base.
on
Ah,
base. Yeah.
and how's that? Is it regular American school or do they teach them Japanese? I've never been overseas, so I have all these questions.
No, it's okay. It's just like an American school. They don't really teach them, but they do say, oh, when you want to say thank you, you say arigato gozaimasu. Little things that, but my son, he has Duolingo on his iPad.
I love
So
that.
he can he
Me.
can he can order his food at a restaurant. He speaks to the
Ooh.
locals. We have a couple locals that work on base at the Navy Exchange. So he's
Uh,
always talking with them. And I'm like,
shut
I want to do
up.
that. Yes. And I'm like, okay, son, you got to teach mom now because
Right.
I only know a little bit. But yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, it's an American school and it's pretty decent. I want to say one of the best schools he's ever been to.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
I know that kids, their brains are sponges. So
Literally.
you can literally teach them something one time and they're like, you know what? I know everything about it now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so cool. Do the do the kids have the option to go to school outside of base? Is that even an
Mhm.
option?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. There are a couple people that I've seen in our Facebook group where they come here and they put their kids in a Japanese school.
What?
Yeah, which I don't really know how that works out because the I don't know if you've seen the characters of the Japanese writing.
Yeah.
It's
Kanji, all that
everything.
stuff.
So I don't really know how that works out, but yeah, there are people who get here and they put their kids in a Japanese school.
Wow, that's so cool. Oh,
No.
I think I'm gonna put myself in a Japanese school bag
Yeah, you should sign yourself up.
to learn
That would be
Japanese.
cool to have. Yeah.
I'm telling you, there is this one program that I
Mhm.
saw to where regular Americans can apply to this program and you can live in Japan. I think
Mhm.
rent free or whatever the case may be. And the goal of you being there is to learn the Japanese language. And I
Yeah.
think to teach it once you are
Yeah.
fluent in it. And it's
Yeah.
like 2 to 3 years or something.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah. I
Yeah,
had
I
looked
think that
into it. Yeah.
right? I think that's so cool. What the freak? I mean, you're already there. Might as well.
Right.
Oh my God. Another
Might as well.
series. Come with me.
Right. Hey, don't put that idea in my head because
Dude, I
we got
think that
2 years here.
that is literally the coolest thing. I think you should
Mhm.
definitely do that. I would
Yeah.
watch it. Dude, I would literally, if I were to live there, if I was in your shoes, I would
Hmm.
take advantage of literally everything, especially as a content creator, because
Yeah.
obviously you're a famous one. And
Mhm. Right.
you should literally make that into a series. You know how many people would freaking
I
be so
know.
interested in
There's
that?
so many Japanese classes out here. They have Japanese cooking classes, they have Japanese language classes, but it's always the time where I have to work, so I'm constantly watching the days that they post.
Yeah.
I can go, but I am gonna start being more involved in learning about the Japanese culture because I think it's so cool. Like,
Yes, I think that'd be so cool.
mhm,
Come with me to learn the Japanese dish.
mhm.
Hmm.
Right? Go set my camera up. And what's crazy is I'll be recording in public and
They
they
don't
don't
like
make
it.
me feel embarrassed or, girl, what are you doing? They don't side eye me. In fact, they smile and they're waving in the, I can't put you on there right now, girl.
How did content creation come into your life? What made you start it and all that good stuff?
Honestly, being in Houston, living in Houston, I was around content creators. This is when YouTube was popping. Everybody was on YouTube, being YouTube content creators, all of that. And then I always said, I'm going to be a content creator. I have it in me. I'm going to be a content creator. And it wasn't until I got with my husband and we went to our second duty station in Kingsville. And I started doing videos and I was going viral. So that was back in 2018. Yeah, so I was going super viral and then I would kind of fall off here and there or I'd stop doing it here and there. But it wasn't until earlier this year when I was like, you know what, I'm going to take it seriously. I'm going to get a camera, I'm going to get my mics, I'm going to get the equipment, invest in myself. And it's been building since 2018 and now here I am. I've been taking it serious. It does get kind of a little annoying because I'm like, me and my husband, even my husband's getting into the habit of content, content, content. Oh my gosh. For example, I had to do some shopping for him and he was like, "You gonna film it?" And I'm like, it's too much going on.
Yeah,
It's a lot, but it's been honestly building since 2018 and I've just taken it more serious the beginning of this year,
that's
especially for the overseas
amazing.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's such a big
Hmm.
thing, especially being a content creator and then having such a big event happen in your life. It could feel
Yeah.
overwhelming, but at the same time, those are the things that people are the most interested
Hmm.
in. Not a lot of us at all. The regular folk, girl, they don't they just be staying in that same little town. They don't be going
Hmm.
anywhere. And so I think
Yeah.
that being a military spouse along with being overseas is wow, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That's so cool. So, did it start as a passion or was it more of so like, hey, let me see, kind of like a
Yeah.
hobby?
Well, at first in my mind, I was like, I want it to be a passion, but then when I started doing it, it's like, let me see what kind of goes. I didn't have a niche. I didn't have anything that I wanted to set on, so it was all over the place. And I think that's what was holding me back because I couldn't find the balance between what I wanted to do and then what people wanted to see. So
Mhm.
now, obviously, my niche is military spouse content, and that has done me great wonders. So yeah.
Yeah, you're awesome. Your personality and the way you edit and everything on your videos is just so great.
Thank you.
Yeah, period. So how do you balance being a spouse, being a mom,
Mhm.
being a working wife,
Right?
and being a content creator? That's insane. How do
That's
you
a lot.
balance it all? Yeah.
Honestly, I have, those whiteboard calendars? So I write everything out. I write everything out for the month, and then I chat GPT and tweak some stuff, and then I
Heck
like
yeah.
put it together, and then I kind of formulate and do all of that. But like I said, I wake up and I'm looking at my calendar and I'm like, okay, content, content, content. And I'm like, all right, I know today I have a lot to do. Content, content, content. So
Mm,
kind of how I incorporate it to where it balances out. So I'm not taking too much
burning
time
out.
being a mom. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, I don't want to burn myself out because I did
Mm,
do that at one point and my content slowed down. And I was like, I gotta sit down and look at things and
focus.
kind of slow down a little bit. Yeah. Because I was burning
Mm.
myself out bad.
So how do you choose what kind of content you're gonna do for that day? And how do you, I guess, how do you manage it all? How do you choose? How do you do
Um,
all that stuff?
I kind of just if I don't have a set content that I'm gonna do, for example, day in the life, I kind of just record whatever.
Mm.
And for some reason, when I get ready to edit, it just all comes out and comes together. I don't know how,
Oh.
but I don't know if you've seen the video where I had to return tables and so that was actually wasn't even planned. It just, I
It just
just started
flows.
recording. Yeah, I was like, let me just record and then I'll watch it all through on TikTok to edit it and then it comes together. So it kind of works out that, which is bad because if it's not playing, I'm all over the place. I just got videos sitting in my phone, didn't even use them, but I know one day I will. So, but yeah.
So, do you have any tips and tricks that you can share with our fellow military spouses about how to be a content creator, how to choose your niche? Any tips and tricks that you can provide?
The main tip or advice, I should say, is to stay consistent
Yes.
because the moment that you slow down or you say, I'm going to do it tomorrow, tomorrow never comes. So stay consistent. There's going to be days where you don't want to do content, do it. Also, anything is content. Getting your nails
Anything.
done is content. If you're going to go look at Christmas trees, it's content. So
Mm.
definitely. And then also find out what your niche is because I've learned people on social media do not like accounts that are all over the place. So
Mm.
yeah, I've seen my numbers because I have two TikTok accounts. My main
Mhm.
one, once I started posting family stuff, that was when my views were going up. But then once I start doing CapCut edits or random pictures or whatever, they don't like that. So viewers like consistency and they like, what is the word? Consistency and kind of like I can't even think right now. Mom brain.
It's okay.
Oh my God. Am I having a stroke, y'all? I literally just lost my train of thought. But consistency and then they like things to be like not really formal, but like a niche, all one thing. Like focus on one thing. For example,
One thing
military
specifically.
spouse content. So that can be anything. That could be on base, off base, a job on base, whatever. So
I
that's
love that.
not really a lot, but once you just get into it, you'll see. You'll see what I
Yeah,
mean. Yeah.
absolutely.
So
Or in my case, podcast. Podcast
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah. And I've watched your followers go up like crazy. And I'm like,
Like
I
that
love that
girl.
for her.
I know because whenever we talked,
Mm-hmm.
I was low on followers, girls. I was at what 400,
Hmm.
500, and then
Yeah.
now I'm at 1,200. Isn't that
Yeah, you're getting up there. We love to see it. We love to see it. I love rooting for
crazy?
other military spouses.
I know. Oh, it's the
Love it. If only
best.
other military spouses could be like that, we will be so much better if we
Yeah.
all root for each other.
And that
Mm-hmm.
is the purpose of this podcast is to
Mm-hmm.
join every single one of us together because we are one. We're a
Exactly.
community. We're all going through the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. We're all going through similar type situations when it comes to
Yeah.
finding friends. And we just need to stand
Not
together.
that hard. Always.
It really isn't that hard.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, where can everybody find you on
You can
TikTok?
so my at is Kyra Simone. Your girl is sitting at 11.1K followers. I
Oh
worked
my
so
God.
hard for that. I remember before I even got here, I was sitting at 6,000, maybe 6,400. And then
Wow.
I don't know, it's something about when I got here, I just took off.
Yes, everybody is so interested in people being overseas and just being
Hmm.
American and stuff like that. Because I'm telling you, the fact alone that you were a military spouse overseas trying to find a job is such an
Hmm.
interesting topic to even talk about that drew me in. I was like, okay, I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because there's
I
so
want
many
you.
military. I want you're my friend now.
Right.
An extrovert adopting an intro. You're mine.
Right. Right. You're mine.
I think that's so interesting. And, that's crazy. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
11K. So now let's head into the fun part. We're going to go ahead and play a game of Would You Rather.
I love this.
Would you rather land your dream job overseas or wherever, or keep the flexibility and your growth of content creation?
Ooh.
It's a good one.
That's a good one, girl. Where'd you get that one from? That one is a good one. I would have to say land my dream job wherever we are because content creating and the internet will probably not always be there.
Telling you.
In the words of being successful and bringing in an income. So I would have to say dream job, whether it be overseas or back in the States. For
What
that,
is your dream job?
oh, honestly, my dream job was to be a nurse. It kind of still is.
Oh, you give nurse
Um,
vibes.
right? But you know what? I would probably have to say being a nurse because I have my CNAs and I've always loved the medical field. Always. So that would definitely be my dream job, is to be a registered nurse.
Oh,
Yeah.
girl, it's never too late.
Girl, I told my husband, I said, you're gonna have to give me that GI Bill, honey. You go back to school.
You know what? I'm using my a secret. I'm using my husband's GI Bill to get my degree, girl.
Hello? I'm telling y'all.
Seriously. Okay, future cybersecurity specialist.
Okay, period.
Oh my God, no. Because whenever I tell people, when they ask me, "Oh, what do you do?" Because I
Mm,
have a regular 9 to 5 as well, property management, right?
yeah.
That's my career. I've worked on that career for like 10 years now. Then, then I'm like, "Oh, should I say podcaster, or should I say that I'm working on my degree, or
Right.
should I say that I'm a content creator?" I
It's all
usually
about what looks good, honestly.
exactly. Okay, so another one. Would
Okay.
you rather go through the uncertainty of PCSing again to another country that you've never been at, or stay in the States and be with your family and just
Right.
have that certainty?
I would have to say go to a country that I've never been to. I'll deal with that because you don't get the same opportunity twice. So it's
Mm-mm.
like I'll take that chance. We've moved away from family before, so it's I can move away from family again.
Yeah,
Travel again. And what girl doesn't want their passport stamped up? I
exactly.
know I
For
do.
free.
For free. Look,
For
hey, we're getting paid to travel if you think about
I'm getting flown out.
right? The military is fun. Can you relate?
I think not.
Right.
Yeah, totally. I feel like I'd honestly pick the same answers that you
Yeah.
would. Okay, to wrap this up, what kind of
hmm
advice would you give to fellow military spouses that are going through the same thing or that are going to go through the same thing, such as PCSing overseas and being there in a country that they've never been before?
My advice would be to take it day by day and to push through it because you're gonna have trying times. You're gonna have times where you feel it's too much, but honestly, keep going and always keep the end goal in mind. So it would just be to be steadfast and just, how can I say this? Just like stay strong in it. I don't know how to explain it because I literally was like, she's gonna ask me this, but let me figure out my answer. It would just be to stay strong and keep your head up and take it day by day. Don't give up. Please don't give up because the end goal is gonna be so worth it. It really is. It really is.
That's amazing.
Hopefully that was good advice. I'm like stumbling over my words. It's still early for me, y'all. It's still
No,
early.
it's literally perfect advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much for coming on this episode of Face Buddies. And thank you so much for watching and staying with us. This is going to be such an amazing ride. If you found value in this episode, please like, subscribe, and share. And stay tuned for our next episode. Bye, guys.